I think it's very helpful when you can share what's going on in your real life, the problems, the failures, the obstacles, and people hear that. It's healing to them because they realize they're not alone. Sometimes they can gain insight from what you're going through. And the main thing is, look, when you share your life, and mainly when you share the negative parts or the downs of your life, it's good because, again, main thing is people realize they're not the only one and that everyone has problems. But there is a point. There's always a limit to everything. Remember, where you go beyond sharing your faults or your problems or just your life in general, even some good things, where it becomes TMI, too much information, where you don't have boundaries. And there are seasons of life and there's times, to go to the place where you share everything, right? But that's not sustainable. And it's not meant to be sustainable. It's not a long-term thing on how you should do all the time. You have to be able to use self-control even when you're sharing. And, of course, with social media and us sharing all of our thoughts, and of course, when you add some people get compensated for it, there is, that chance that you can go and forget the boundary. Okay. Now, again, there's an opposite side of that. You can have too many boundaries where you don't share anything, and then, again, it's like there is healing when people realize they're not alone, okay, and they can learn from your experience, or they can just get encouraged that someone else is fighting through life, right? But the message in this video, and it came to me a couple months ago, I was talking to someone, and she had said to me, she's an open book. And I had thought to myself, there's times I remember hearing Kim Kardashian say that, on a reality show. And I kind of take that now as I'm developing myself. Still, we always develop yourself, as that's a little bit of a negative. And I even shared that in the conversation. I said, one is thank you for that. But two is what I've learned now, because I was a little older than her, I said is there are some things that sometimes you don't want to be an open book. Not in a deceitful way, not in a way where you're trying to hide things from others, but in a way where you have boundaries. And that's the reason. There's no deception. You don't want to hide things deceivingly. That's manipulation. But what I'm sharing with you is you don't want to tell everything to everyone all the time. You don't want to be an open book. Okay, you want to be a book that there's certain times where you don't have access to it. Okay, where there's a boundary for you. Boundaries are for your well-being and for the well-being around you. Because when you overshare, when you're too much of an open book, people don't get healed. It just becomes a drama and gossip fest, and you don't serve any healing to yourself. You're not really you're hurting yourself more than you're helping yourself. This is what boundaries are for. Boundaries are for your well-being and for the well-being of those around you. And it's not when you're an adult, it's not the job of other people to set up boundaries in your life as you're an adult. It's your job. You set up boundaries with your parents when you become an adult. You set boundaries, possibly, obviously, if you have children, even with your pets, with your coworkers. Well, everything has boundaries, right? So healthy ones, not, destructive ones, not negative ones, not where you're trying to, keep people out or hide. You never want, it's not about hiding things or being deceiving. This is about healing for yourself and others. Some things, sometimes, don't share. Period. Why? Boundaries. Period. Now, again, when there is a time to share, because there are times, and this is where you need discernment, and this is why you need to be in a healthy place so you can understand when the right time is. When there are times that you need to share everything, when you need to expose what's going on and give of yourself, because when you share a lot, you give of yourself, you make yourself vulnerable, which is good at certain times. Not all the time. It's unsustainable. So when there's those key moments when you really need to let the light shine, per se, and let it out and share in a healthy way where it's going to help you and others, that's when you use that capacity. But if you do it all the time, it's like you don't have it left, or people have either tuned you out or you tuned yourself out. It's just one big blah 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 every day, all the time. So again, just that boundary, knowing, and this is not just like sharing online. That's part of it, but also sharing with people in your life, even close people. Because again, it's not about deception; it's about boundaries. Okay, and if someone doesn't respect boundaries, they're a manipulator. They're a controller. Okay? And a lot of people have a problem with that. A lot of people. I was listening to someone the other day. I mean, this ties in, I guess, to this as well. Someone else online. It was a married couple in their 50s, and they were sharing videos basically about the husband's father, who they're taking care of, who has dementia. And they had started making videos more about life, and the wife was talking about how really she's in an unhealthy relationship with the husband, but she stays. And she was just sharing all the stuff, maybe too much. But what I was kind of finding out was that, or what was kind of just being exposed to me, is that most people, guys, they're in a very unhealthy situation. And I give her credit for sharing. But you're not going to find the answers online, because people are online. I remember people in the chat were saying, like, well, this is a normal relationship. No, this is a very unhealthy relationship. And this is the type of relationship where you need a glass of wine at the end of the day to justify your life. And there's nothing wrong. You drink or whatever how you want. I'm just saying that it's just like dysfunction is so rampant, okay, in life, that if you have a goal, this may not be for everyone. Some people, guys, you got to remember in life, this is another thing I want to share with you. I don't want to be too long-winded. I'll wrap this up. You got to remember in life, because most people are miserable, okay? Even if they have money, even if they're married, even if they have kids, even if they have their health. And I'm not saying anyone, including me, can be happy all the time. And I'm not saying everyone should live like me or you should live like everyone else. But I'm saying to you, this is what I say to myself, it's my job to be healthy and to live the life I want to live. And for you to do that, you can't look up to other people. You can't share everything with other people, because you got to define that. And then you got to put up boundaries around that. But if you're looking for the answers from someone else at a certain point, what you're going to realize is everyone has problems. Leaders have problems. Your pastor has problems. Your social media people have problems. Your own parents, your own children, everyone. So what you realize then, if everyone has problems, now the secret's out. Everyone shared too much information. Everyone's got problems, which is good, because you don't want everyone to think life is perfect. It's not true. But then you got to say, okay, let's put up some boundaries, all right? Because we don't need everyone's problems out there all the time, guys. But we don't need everyone acting like it's good all the time. What I'm saying is, don't be an open book all the time. What I'm saying is, at the right time, share the right things, even the bad things that are going on in your life, because that is when it's helpful to be an open book. But then you don't leave that book open for free for everyone to read all the time. Why? Too much access. And then it leads to gossip, drama, and too much negativity. And that's where boundaries are for. Boundaries are to keep gossip at bay. Boundaries are to keep drama at bay. Those who don't respect boundaries love drama. And they love to hear what you got to say, and they'll never tell you really what's going on in their life. These people, I hate to tell you, they're not going to be healthy for you. So don't feel bad when you're not calling them, when you're not walking with them, when you're not talking with them. Why? They're not working on themselves. And if they're not working on themselves, they're not really going to, you got to limit your time with them. And you got to limit your time with everyone. Why? Because you need some time for yourself. And that's kind of what, when you share too much information, is basically saying that you're not taking enough time for yourself, or you're not holding. Privacy is self-care. A certain level of privacy is self-care. So that when you need to share the raw problems and your raw testimony, that you have the capacity to do so, and it's sharp. It's ready to go. Rather, if you share it all the time, it's dull. You understand what I'm saying? And this is what you develop as you go. I hope this video helped, and I'll see you in the next one.